Last time on The Ties That Bind. Taking some time to prepare for their journey north, Daenerys, Wolfgang, and Osmo spent some time to lick their wounds and bid a final farewell to Wolfgang's cousin Magnus. Leaving the town to cheers of the grateful populace, our heroes make their way to their next stop on their journey, the misty town of Steamy Springs.
Not the steamy town of Misty Springs?
No.
Okay. Make sure I write that down properly.
Yeah. Steamy Springs. You're on your way there. So, traveling for about a day now. Your carriage driver, Beauregard, ever so often popping his head back into the cart, asking if anybody needs to defecate or.
Nick, would you say is he like a serious stagecoach guy, or is he more like one of those fun Southwest stagecoach guys?
You can make your own decision on that one. But yes, he pops his head back and, does anyone need to defecate or urinate? Every now and again. And you would continue forward, and you fall asleep that evening. There's plenty of food aboard the carriage. There's a hot water kettle that always seems to be warm. You can pour yourself tea and things like that.
Can we make a hot toddy?
I mean, if you have the brandy.
Okay.
But as you wake up the next morning, I need each of you to make a Constitution check just to see who gets up first.
Okay.
14.
18.
18.
Constitution
And-
check.
Yes.
That is a 17.
All right. Daenerys, a small bump in the road kind of jostles you awake as you get a glint of light from outside the carriage. You peel back the curtain to reveal a field of white. Just everywhere. That you've never seen anything like this. And some of it's still kind of raining down from the sky. You can see as the sun is dipping over the mountains in the far end, far off into the horizon, you can see some hawks flying through the sky. It's just magical. This field of white as the horse continues to trot forward.
Daenerys actually closes the book that he had in his lap that he fell asleep reading.
Uh-huh.
His eyes grow wide a little bit in wonder as he stares at the snow silently.
Yeah. Wolfgang, you're woken by the brushing of Daenerys' tail. Kind of against your leg.
Is it wagging?
Yeah, it's just kind of like twitching curiously. And you look outside and the light's really bright coming through the window. But you see it too, this majestic field of fluffy whiteness just everywhere. There's almost pyramid-shaped trees just covered in this icy white substance that you've heard called snow. And Asmo, shortly after, when everybody's kind of like looking out to the side, you're awoken and you see it out there as well.
Wince. Asmo winces because it's really bright.
Yeah, the light's kind of bright as it's shining pretty much directly in on its way to setting.
It's crazy if you... It almost looks like sand. That's snow, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
God. Yeah, it looks really...
Asmo just bundles up, just grabs his coat and wraps it around him.
It's still cozy and warm in here thanks to the hearth bricks.
He's just thinking about it though.
You actually you have no clue exactly how cold it is out there. All you know is that it looks beautiful and it's kind of has this beautiful glitter to it as the sun reflects off it.
Would Wolfgang have seen snow before?
You've never been this far north. You've never been north of the Maw.
Now that's a sight.
Snow is extremely rare up this, up where you live in Amberglade. It never touches Amberglade. It might sometimes blow far enough south to hit Fallwood Barrow.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I always heard about this stuff, but It's crazy. So, like, it doesn't kill all the plants underneath it, though, right?
Well,
If anybody actually wants to answer that question, you can make a knowledge nature check.
sure, I'll try to make one. That's a 15 on my nature check.
15 knowledge nature. You know that there are some, clearly since there are trees out there that seem to be flourishing, you also see that there are a couple of small animals still kind of crawling through. You see a Arctic hare just kind of bouncing around. It seems to be chewing on something. There must be some forms of flora that still exist around here in order for these things to survive.
Yeah, you got your evergreens in there, and occasionally some grass will pop up. Maybe a deer come and eat it. Look around, you'll see some animals as well.
It's kind of weird if this is what happens when the rain gets too cold, turns into like ice. And this is exactly, and we're heading towards a hot springs. It's just, why would something so warm be surrounded by something so cold? It's just, I don't know.
It's just the way the world works, I suppose. Some
The
places are.
world's weird.
Yeah.
Pretty though. It's pretty though.
Yeah, we'll have to take Elliot up here sometime.
You hear the bubbling of a spring somewhere off into the distance, maybe off to the other side of the cart.
Looks really fluffy.
You talking about your tail?
No, I'm talking about the what'd you call it? Snow?
Snow.
Yeah.
Look at the rabbit jumping. It looks like sand, but it doesn't act like sand.
Beauregard pops his head through the back of the carriage right next to your face, Osmo.
Ah!
Does anyone need to defecate or urinate?
I don't know. You doing okay there, Janir?
I think I'm going to have to now.
I shall pull over. You hear the oxen kind of pull to a stop. Or the ghost horse pull to a stop.
Ghost horse.
And the door pops open on the side. Beauregard's floating next to it. This way, sir.
Thank you.
As you will. As the door is opened, you get a cold, cold gust of wind. It's between, yeah, it's kind of between refreshing and maybe a little too
Osmo just wraps into a ball.
Yeah. Luckily your cloak is keeping you fairly warm. You feel kind of nice, even though the gust just kind of blasts your face.
Yeah, Denier makes the same sound that Asmo did.
That's pretty brisk.
I haven't felt it in some time.
How long have you been dead for?
My entire afterlife.
Denier's going to start trudging through the snow to find a place.
There's a kind of a small grove of evergreens that you can kind of hide into.
Don't forget to circle it a little bit there, Bob.
Denier comes back. He reaches
Actually,
into
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He comes back. Forgot something. He grabs the Tales of Daring Do by Darrington Loxley and starts walking off.
Yep, the gold pages kind of glimmer in the sunlight as you walk back off to take a dump.
It's like the Charmin commercial.
Denier, as you step out, does anybody else step out just to take a look or anything?
Wolfgang will probably step out and take a look around. Maybe.
Osmo closes the door the second he gets out.
You're letting the hot air out.
As you look around, this field of white seems to stretch on for a while. You see a couple of mountains off to the north of you and off to the, northwest or northeast, which is where the sun is kind of starting to dip behind now. And off to the north, you see what looks like a blanket of mist or fog. Beauregard's just off to the front of the carriage, petting his ghost horse.
Ghost horse.
Ghost horse. Good.
If only I was outside, I would have.
Is that normal? Daniel calls out as he's walking off, pointing towards the mist.
Oh, yes, that's where we're heading, he says as he's feeding the ghost horse a ghost carrot.
That's not how. Damn it!
That's what the carrot.
Daniel just
It's
points at him.
long since dead.
That's another question I've got for you when I get the chance, Beauregard.
Wonderful. I haven't had pleasant conversation in days.
That's a little bit sad.
Indeed.
And Denier goes into the woods to find a place.
All right. Go ahead and make a perception check as you're entering
Okay.
this grove.
Perception check 19.
All right. As you enter this grove of trees, nothing seems to strike out at you as immediately suspicious or anything, but you do notice that there are a few drips of what look to be blood emanating out from behind one of the trees.
Poop there.
You see that and you just hear it.
Oh, gee!
If I don't do it now, I got a feel I'm going to have to in a second. Denier's going to... Hang on, Wolfgang, I see blood over here. And
Oh man.
a bit of a white... Not from me!
Oh, about to say.
What's he saying? Through the glass.
He's saying he sees some blood.
Oh, God.
No, not from him.
Oh, okay.
Wolfgang pulls out Requiem and begins to walk into the woods.
Yeah, Denier's going to circle around to try to see the other side of the tree.
All right, as you come around the side, you see a slumped over body in a dark cloak. Seems to have some like frilly white edges around the face, and they're just kind of slumped there, and there's a pool of it's not really a pool of blood. It's more like the snow is stained, kind of going in the direction of the drips that you found with red.
The blood that's on him, does it look fresh or does it look old?
It's kind of frozen, so it's hard to tell. But you know that at least 4 or 5 days ago there was some snow raining down.
Mm-hmm.
So at the very least, this is newer than that.
I'm going to pull out.
Wolfgang, as you approach, you see the same sight that Denier is seeing.
Does he look dead?
He's certainly not moving.
I pull out the blink rock and I throw it at him.
All right, roll to hit. Just a dex check.
10.
Yeah, he's not moving, so kind of hits him in the back of the head, and he kind of rocks forward a little bit more.
You all right?
All you heard was,
From the body.
yes. And the blink rock pops back into your hand.
All right, I put it away, and I'm going to pop my healing hands on him. Sir.
This man's pale face kind of springs back to life and looks up at you.
Sir, you're all right now.
Cold.
I take off my jacket. I wrap it around him.
Yeah, he's just kind of shivering there.
Can you tell me your name?
Forrest. My name is Forrest.
Do you know what happened to you?
It was... He just kept... He kept saying something about...
Can you walk? Can you walk?
I don't know.
I'm gonna Denier, can you help me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna reach down and try and lift him up.
Yeah, this man is kind of stiff to move. He feels like he's been here for maybe hours, and his joints are just... He feels frozen to the bone.
I'm gonna drape him over my shoulder and see if I can drag him back to the cart.
I'm going to help him as much as I can.
All right, give me conjoined athletics checks.
Oh boy, here I go.
I'm great at these.
2.
12.
All right, with that and this guy's cooperation, you're able to kind of drag him a bit. Wolfgang, you don't have like a great grip on the dude, but you're able to hoist him a bit, and it takes a bit, but you get him back to the carriage. Oh, do we find another passenger?
Yeah, he almost had a ghost to join you.
Well, that would have been lovely.
Not for him, it wouldn't have.
I suppose not.
Just take a moment to warm up.
All right, Asmo, you see this stabbed
Asmo.
man in Wolfgang's coat just kind of sitting out here as they're dragging him back.
What does he look like exactly?
He's got dark hair. He's like white as a bone. You're not sure if that's due to blood loss or due to him just being like cold as hell. He's got ice that's forming around his eyes.
What's his species?
He looks half elf.
Okay.
Does he look familiar to us in any way?
No more familiar than any other half elf, really.
That's
Dark hair.
racist.
Bloody knife ears.
Hey.
Yeah, he's got kind of greenish brown eyes. He's pale, kind of gaunt. He's got that kind of he's got more of an elvish build than a human build.
Osmo pushes his face up against the window.
So what? We have a new friend now? Who stabbed him?
Well, we're gonna let him warm up, and then he can tell us his story.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
Pop open the carriage door and help him get in.
Prestidigitation him before he goes in.
Yeah, just to dry him off, probably.
Dry him off, clean the blood off. No sense in getting blood all over Beauregard's carriage.
Much
Mine of Coke.
appreciated, sir.
I'll help with that prestidigitation. I have that spell as well.
Yeah, you get him clean of snow and water. You kind of dry him off and sit him down across from Asmo.
Yeah,
He's just
man, I
kinda
know.
shivering.
It is cold as heck out there, isn't it? You and
kinda
me,
looks
buddy. You and me, buddy.
Yeah, he looks at you, Osmo, like very curious, almost as if he's like never seen somebody like you before. Thank you.
Asmo just points, just like hot water in there. So if you could, like, you just want to suck it down, or rub it on your face. I don't know.
His hands are kind of hard to move. The tips of his fingers look very frostbitten.
Okay, go for it.
I'll probably end up like making him some tea or coffee or something to warm him up.
Yeah, you hand him a mug, and he just kind of takes both hands because he can't quite close his fingers and just wraps it around them. Oh.
Now, be careful. Your hands look a little frostbitten. Once they start warming up, it's gonna hurt real bad.
It's better than being dead. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. So you were saying, now that you've warmed up a little bit, what happened? Do you know what happened?
I was attacked by a man. I was stopping to relieve myself, and, well, he came, I don't even know from where, but he stabbed me. He claimed it was for some bleeding god.
Oh, great.
What?
Did you see what he looked like at all?
He was short. I didn't really get a good look at his face because, well, he was very short. He had to reach upward to stab me. Kind of sets down the mug and peels back his coat a little bit to show you that He looks like he was stabbed kind of like just above the kidney area, like just below the rib cage.
Any necrotic tissue?
It just looks like frozen frostbite. Just. Happened, I think last night. I don't know how long I've been sitting there, but I think the fact that it was so cold is what saved my life.
Well, thanks, Mother Nature, for that.
He just stabbed me and started collecting my blood in this jar. I just kind of faded out as he left. He left me to die.
Did the dagger look strange at all? Looked like it was made of crystal or something.
Gonna roll for him to see if he can remember this stuff. Look metal to me. Just
silly question. We haven't asked what his name is, have we?
Wolfgang did.
His name is Forrest.
Oh, geez, sorry. I forgot. All right, let me write that down.
Did you say his last name?
No, just gave you his first name. You found him in a state of shock.
Like, how long ago was this?
I think last night. I don't know how long I've been unconscious, sir. The sun's going down now, so I can't imagine it would have survived out there for a full day.
No, imagine not. You're real lucky we found you.
Thank you.
Do you have any family nearby?
Yeah, the town outside Steamy Springs. I was just heading back there. I was coming up from Berg and just doing the trades.
Well, you're really in luck, because that's exactly where we're heading as well. Hop in. We'll take you there.
While they're talking...
But actually, real fast, just to make sure we don't go off this topic real fast. Sorry, 1 second. Bob.
You ever heard of the bleeding god before he stabbed you, though?
Just rumors floating around about some people worshiping it, and I never paid much creed to it because it never really affected folk around my town, but...
Oh, boy.
There's been more and more talk of it lately.
It's probably a gnome or a halfling. I don't think so.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get a good look at him.
No, I'm just thinking out loud. Sorry. Goblins don't really... They've got... He's just sort of mumbling to himself.
You goblins. I don't like them.
I don't like them. I don't like goblins. Oh.
Denier, I imagine you go back out to do your business.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying while they're talking. Denier's going back just to take care of business.
Wolfgang shouts after him, "See if you can find anything."
Dude, I was literally about to say that he was going to roll an investigation check while he was there too. Good thinking.
All right, you go out there, you take care of your business. Nothing, like obviously you're on guard throughout this because you're not sure like where this thing might be, but
Clutching his sword while taking his shit.
Oh, nervous pooping is the worst pooping.
Yeah, you take care of it. You pinch it off, and your back legs kind of bury it in snow.
Yeah, I kick up some snow on it. Then I investigate the area.
All right, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
10.
All right, you're looking around, specifically around the area that he was stabbed.
Yeah. Footprints, any kind of thing that might have been left in the scuffle, anything like that.
Whatever was there might have been blown away in the wind, because you don't even see this man's footprints coming over to where he is, nor any horse tracks or anything that would have brought him here. But that does remind you that you do not see a horse anywhere.
So they must have been going on foot or some other means of transportation.
Yeah.
Denier will return, and he will tell what he found or what he didn't find, to be more precise.
You just found the pool of blood.
So
Whatever tracks might have been there had disappeared.
So you were walking all the way home? Jeez.
No. I had my horse with me. She I don't know where she is. Maybe that bastard took her. I don't know.
If I had to hazard a guess.
You see what way the tracks went? Denier?
There were no tracks. Nothing that I saw, at least. The wind probably blew the tracks.
There's a small gust of wind kind of blowing some snow into the air as he says that.
I mean, I might have seen something that you guys didn't. You're free to go ahead and go out there and take a look.
I'm good.
Look over at Asmo.
Oh, I'm good. I should be.
I might be able to find something. Maybe there's some sort of magical trail left behind. Although this didn't really seem magical in nature. It just seemed like a mugging for blood. I don't know. I'm going to go look out there. Wolfgang's going to pull out Requiem and he's going to cast Detect Magic when he's looking around the poob area.
Yeah. Nothing seems to be overtly magical in the area. It's starting to get a little darker as the sun is peeking down over the horizon.
Yeah.
You're not sure how long it's been out, but it's definitely shorter than it was when you were in Cold Reach. If at least by a few minutes.
All right. Well, when it starts getting dark, Wolfgang will head back.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your investigation check, though, for looking for anything in the area that Denier might have missed.
18.
All right, you do find something. You find scratch marks on the tree. Like, it looks like the knife went all the way through, kind of scratch marks. You can tell that it was made by not a dagger, but a short sword. Because it was long enough to pierce all the way through.
It'd have to be long. Person with short of stature, I suppose.
Yeah, you checking the thing. It's basically all there really is to it. Like Denier said, their wind seemed to have picked up and taken off the tracks.
Well, Wolfgang will head back then after he sees that.
Yeah, it's getting a little chilly for you since you lent this gentleman your coat.
Yep. So I hop back in the wagon. There's nothing overtly magical about the scene. Although I did learn a bit of information. It wasn't a dagger of any sort. It was more like a short sword, really.
Looked like a dagger to me. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Asmo's gonna insight this guy because the horse story sounded weird.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna insight the fellow. 18.
No, he's telling you the truth. He had a horse.
Oh. Okay.
And he was coming from the town of Berg on trade.
While everybody's been talking about this, Denier's been out in the snow. He's taken his staff of adornment, and he's written the letters DAENIR into the snow, and he just smiles a little bit looking at it before he brushes it over and walks back into the carriage.
You know, you could have done that when you're going to the bathroom. You know, like normal human.
Wait, you can do that? You can do that?
Yeah, you just aim. What?
He's got a squat. He's got a barbed penis. You see.
Oh, that's so cool! I didn't even think about that.
Denier has learned a cool trick for next time.
His eyes flash with a little bit of joy as he learned a new trick.
Anyway.
Yeah, you guys hop back in. Wolfgang, you're sitting next to Forrest. Denier, you hop on the seat next to Osmo. Beauregard pops his head through the back. All aboard!
Yes, we are, Mr. Beauregard.
The door snaps shut next to you. Very well. Next stop, Steamy Springs.
Is it spooky?
Pops his head back in. I don't believe so, but I'll leave that to you.
Oh.
And the horse begins marching again.
So a short guy, huh? He stabbed you. It's weird.
Yeah, seemed to be... He claimed to be doing the bidding of some master for a bleeding god.
That's really weird.
Collecting your blood. In jars?
He seemed a little off his rocker, but I think that's, with the territory.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have a gem on him, collecting it to be sacrificed later on.
Maybe.
Or maybe recharging. Hard to say, really, with this. This is all uncharted territory.
Have you run into him before?
We've heard about the Bleeding God on our travels. We're actually up here. We're actually running bodyguard for this fine gentleman here. He's actually writing a book. This will be a pretty interesting chapter, don't you think there, Denier?
Absolutely, Mr. Black.
Well, thank you for saving my life. I'm sorry if I don't have much by way of repaying you.
No. I think the information is... the information you've given us is valuable enough.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna take a little nap.
Okay.
He kind of just rests his eyes and slumps over, and he seems to have finished the hot tea that he had.
Perception, is he actually asleep?
I think that would be more of an investigation.
Oh.
Actually, no, you're right. It is perception. Go ahead, check that.
14.
Not yet, but it's not for lack of trying.
Azra just looks at Wolfgang and Denier like, all right, calm the fuck on. He's like, do I still gotta deal with this shit face on his mug?
Would you rather we have left the gentleman to die in a puddle?
No, I'd rather he wasn't stabbed by someone else for the Bleeding God. We just left a town where that was a problem.
Well, none of us could have helped what we found. Well, I am going to cast Detect Magic again. Gonna look him over.
All right. Looking this gentleman over, he seems to have a pendant that's magical.
What school?
Let me check here. Looks like Conjuration.
And other than that, nothing else.
Nothing that seems to catch your... Nothing that really seems to catch your eye. Nothing magical on this gentleman other than the faint magic within his blood for being an elf.
Out of character, all the people who died back in Cold Reach, were any of them Elven?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Harcroft was Elven. Not
Alrighty.
full-blood elf, but half-elf.
Okay.
Well, he just laid down to go to sleep, right?
Yeah, he just kind of like rested his head over on the side of the carriage there, against the wall.
Well,
airplane style.
I'm gonna lean up to him, be like, one last thing before you go to sleep.
Yes.
I noticed that your pendant has got a little bit of magic in it. You mind telling me what it does, just for safety reasons?
Oh, sure. It brings forth, something like your driver. It's, useful for grieving purposes.
Huh.
Turn to Denier. Does that sound familiar at all?
It could be something similar to what we saw in Tom's bar. It could be maybe an image of a loved one that he lost, like could be an illusion, perhaps. Could be. I'm leaning towards something like what we saw in Tom's bar.
Well, it's conjuration magic.
It's either conjuration or necromancy. It's one of those. Sorry.
Can
Why
I roll
not
an
both?
Arcana check?
What's that?
Can I roll an Arcana check?
Yeah, sure.
17.
Yeah, it seems to be something that's used to summon a ghost. Spirit.
Yeah, no, that thing summons a spirit to you. That's what it sounds like. Perhaps bringing back a loved one from the brink just to speak for a time. Maybe a speak with dead spell?
He kind of like holds his hand over it. My dear Maddie.
I'm sorry for your loss.
The good lady comes for all of us one day. This is a gift from her to allow me to still see her every now and again.
That sounds nice. Well, sorry to have bothered you. Just making sure.
He kind of nods and falls back to sleep, or continues to try to sleep. You ride your carriage for a while, and the outside begins to get mistier and foggier. Like you can barely see maybe 10 yards outside of the carriage right now.
Jeez.
How bumpy of a ride has it been?
It's been relatively smooth. You get the odd bump every now and again, but you get the feeling that you're on a road that's been constructed.
Mm-hmm.
Every bit of lump is more likely than not just snow that hasn't been pressed down in a similar pattern to the rest of it around it.
So is there any chance that Denier could have used this time to scribe the Shatter Scroll into a spellbook?
Do an Arcana check for me.
Okay. 21?
I'd say you can get it, yeah.
Okay. Then any other time he would have been reading Archmage, the Harbinger of the Land.
All right, go ahead and give me an investigation check. This will, how you perform here will give you, potential advantage on knowledge history and things like that later.
9.
All right.
Well, he just
You
started
you still studied it though. Like you're still reading through it. You made it through the prologue.
Okay.
And slowly but surely you begin to hear some sounds outside. Sounds like people talking.
A perception
Just-
on that, or
Not really. It's like general town talk. Like you feel like you're in a town right now. And the air slowly becomes a bit clearer. And you kind of, those of you that are attuned to magic in any way kind of feel like a bit of a tingle as you pass through this field that all of a sudden everything is visible around you, basically. Like you kind of feel like you're in a bubble of fog that almost seems to be kind of illuminated above.
oh. What on earth? I was just looking out the window, looking up.
Yeah, you look up out the window and you see that above you seems to be kind of light. It looks like pure moonlight, but it's spread all across the fog above you. Just kind of like a nice, luminous, clean light. And the
Place is
town
hidden.
around you seems really nice. It looks like to describe it, kind of a frontier town. Everything's kind of built out of log, and there's people standing around outside a tavern, just talking in warm clothes, having a good time.
About how far does from one wall of fog to the other wall of fog, about how far is it? A few hundred feet?
It seems to be a dome that stretches about maybe 50 yards. So 150 to 200 feet approximately. Actually, hold on. Closer to like 100 yards. Like it's a football field in diameter.
I think I know what this is. Can Denier roll an Arcana check to try to determine what it is?
You can tell me what it is because I was just kind of making it up, but go ahead.
I believe it's a spell called Private Sanctum. It's a wizard spell.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
21.
It's kind of like that, but you feel that there's something else. There's something more to it.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah, you step out. Like the carriage pulls up to front of what looks to be like the foot of a mountain and opens up. You got a bunch of townsfolk just kind of wandering around talking. It's not necessarily that cold here. It's still colder than you're accustomed to, but it's not as cold as it was out in the field.
It's not as bad as it was. So this is a hot springs.
Everybody, you may exit the carriage at your discretion.
Thank you, Beauregard.
My pleasure, sir. And he kind of bows his head, which then rolls off his shoulders again.
Ha ha! Fun trick. What would help you pass on?
Head poofs off the ground and back onto his head. Poof. Well, back onto his shoulders. Oh, I'm not quite sure, frankly. Whoever holds my contract keeps me here.
Didn't know that's how it works.
Yes, I work for the company.
Company. Are they all ghosts?
I certainly am. You look, like, he kind of points over to, like, these other carriages. Some of them are zombies, like, standing next to the carts. They all have these, like, dapper bellboy uniforms on. And there's, like, these rotten meat horses. Some are skeletons. Again, all dressed in kind of that nice attire that you see Beauregard in.
It's slipping my mind at the moment, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how illegal is necromancy in this world?
In this world? Where you come from, it's not exactly it's not punishable by like, it depends on what you're doing, basically. Like, if you're raising skeletons to attack a village, obviously that's kind of a jailable thing. If you're just kind of testing stuff, basically it needs to be done with the authorization. It's one of those things that you kind of need a license for, quote unquote. But up here, you're not really sure how it works. Denier, you've been sort of reading that book. Feel free to make a knowledge history check. Anybody else making it would be with disadvantage.
19?
Oh, I don't even need to.
Yeah, with a 19. You know that up here, basically magic is power. Because in the opening of the book, you know, they're talking about why the Archmage is this great man. It's because he came after the Master before him, and ever since he left after the war, he has assumed control, and everything has been relatively peaceful, and those that can attain a power greater than his would succeed him. So it seems like any form of magic is okay here, and
Well, like,
whoever has the most of it is the highest regarded.
but is that actually the case because of how the sorcerers were treated the last time we went to?
There might be a reason that the sorcerers are treated that way.
Oh,
In fact, these all might be connected.
Oh. Okay. Sorry, Nick. It was a question.
It's okay. You got a little bit of insight out of it.
Yo, Wolfgang, what are you looking at? What the?
She sees the zombies all by the.
They there's a group of them just kind of standing next to together. They seem to be socializing.
Are they all? Are any of them smoking?
No, but one of them's kind of just chewing on some raw meat.
The North is completely wild. Holy crap. Zombies that we're not fighting.
The skeletons are just kind of standing. They're real professional.
Well, I would assume so. They don't have that meat baggage.
Yeah, they also don't have many means of communication.
Hmm.
But zombies, they're still acting as if they were still alive, kind of.
So we got a free ride here, but did we get a free hotel room? In stay? Whatever you want to call it.
We got passes.
Yep.
Mr. Beauregard, if you don't mind me asking,
Yes, sir.
You said that you're allowed to stay here by the Great Lady's permission. When your time came, did you meet with her? Did you speak with her? Did you make a deal with her, so to say?
It was very fast, my trip to her domain, but one of the masters saw otherwise and drew me back into service.
Oh, okay.
My form was gone, but I could still do the job.
What's the company's name you work for exactly?
He holds out a card. Sorry, let me get to it.
I love playing a character who can read.
Holds out a card that says Phantom Steeds.
Oh, that's good. That's good branding.
They believe so, yes. Their office is located in the capital if you wish to charter more or perhaps even acquire the assistance of one of our drivers.
Oh, Mr. Beauregard, it was a shocking pleasure to meet you.
Very nice to meet you as well, Mr. Black.
Whereabouts is that fellow Forrest?
Forrest, hearing the commotion outside or just like the town, he kind of drifts awake. Yeah, he's been sitting in the cart this entire time. Nobody nudged him awake or anything when you were getting out, but he feels the commotion and hears you guys talking outside.
You're here. We're here at this lovely little village.
Thank you.
Where you heading?
I guess I'll head back to my family and let them know the news. We run a trading post down the main road if you would like to stop by.
Which way?
thank
North,
you.
south, east, or west?
He pointed the direction for you.
Okay, so it's...
What do you sell?
Just general goods. Unfortunately, I didn't get much on my last trip, so we're a little sparse right now. You're looking around, you notice that this is, like, based on the types of people you're seeing around here with the various forms of clothes, and this looks to be a bit of a tourist town.
Well,
Thank you again very much.
thank them. They're the ones who dragged your butt out of the woods.
Aswin gestures over to Wolfgang and Denier. Aswin just stands over by himself, letting them talk.
He bows to you. I am in your debt. If there's anything you need, anything that we have to offer, just please feel free to ask. I'm gonna go see my daughter. And he kind of walks off.
Denier smiles and waves.
You do that. Take care, Forrest.
You as well, he says over his shoulder as he's walking away.
This is absolutely fascinating. Take a look. He'll point out. Denier points over towards the dome of fog.
Yeah, it seems to
This-
stretch from one end of the town to the other end.
So it looks like there's just like a fog surrounding the town, but there's lots of space in between it all.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Every now and then, like, it doesn't even look like it wisps inward at all.
So, this is a giant barrier. It looks really, foggy, and it prevents you from seeing through it. It stops things like divination magic from being able to come in through it. You can't summon in it. You can't teleport in it. It's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, as you guys are looking around, feel free to make perception checks for me.
Nat 1!
17.
15.
All right, Wolfgang, as you're looking around, you do see a strange sight, a white bird flying through the air. This is weird because you haven't seen, like, any birds for a while. Like, there were, like, a couple of hawks out there, but nothing this small.
Does the atmosphere feel warmer in this part
Yeah,
of a.
It feels like much warmer than it did out in the field.
How moist is it? I know I have a nat 1, but
Moisture in the air. It's not muggy by any means. Like it still feels like a warm winter's day, if that makes sense.
yes, it does. I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
And you're from Minnesota, so it's okay. I get
Yeah.
you.
Like the kind of day where you wouldn't feel bad walking outside with a t-shirt despite how cold it is.
Mm-hmm.
We call that jacket weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like jacket weather.
You mean Canadian fall?
Minnesota spring.
Also seems to provide some sort of not necessarily artificial atmosphere, but it definitely changed the weather in this dome. It's not nearly as cold as it was out there.
The air itself doesn't feel magical. It feels like maybe it's all that fog from the hot springs that are just insulating this area for you.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm working on with the spells that I showed you. Inside the bubble that I'm making, it's supposed to keep the temperature rather comfortable. It's a tricky thing to it's a tricky thing to master, but once you can actually get a hold of it, it's rather impressive.
Wolfgang, give me another perception check with advantage.
Okay. 17 again.
Yeah, that bird that you saw lands, just kind of like flies headfirst into a door, and now it's a pamphlet.
Oh.
Yes!
I nudge the lads. Hey, guess who's in town?
Us?
And I point to the door.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
As you walk up, you see a very familiar note beckoning those in town to come to the Wandering Weasel. And the door opens. A man looks outside. Oh, damn it! Pulls off the note. Close the door.
Well, it looks like our friends Tom and Lush are here as well.
I bet you they ain't never seen anything like what we saw in the last town. It better be a heck of a story.
I bet you they've seen lots of shit.
Oh? Well, they do seem the worldly type.
We'll at least keep Tom entertained, I suppose.
Yeah, as you turn back around to look back at where the carts are parked, off to the side, after you've stepped a little bit further into the street in order to see that parchment, you see a sign off to the side of a wooden staircase that leads up the mountain that reads Steamy Springs Spa.
What do you think? Should we take a dip before we go see the Wandering Weasel?
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Do they have something that's like not water? Maybe?
Oh, stop being such a pussycat.
Can't help it.
Asshole just kind of kicks him in the butt. Come on, let's go. Let's get warm.
You
get
guys
warm.
make conversation as you start making your way up the wooden stairways. There's a log wooden banister off to the side that you can guide your hands up.
How cozy is this place?
As you're walking up, you start to walk through the steam. Like, you're starting to head up this mountain, basically, up this trail. And you're starting to get out from where the dome is. And you enter the steam. And the steam feels actually rather pleasant and warm.
So this is good for a snake.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Nah.
You actually feel like you can take your hood down for a bit. And Wolfgang, you did get your jacket back from Forrest, by the way.
Yeah.
As you're walking up, you keep your hand on the banister to make sure that you're not going to, slip or fall off, because everything's starting to feel like a little slicker, I guess, but the tracks below you still feel nice and basically you still have traction where you're walking. It doesn't look like there's a lot of ice. And as you walk up, you keep turning as you're like kind of spiraling up this mountainous area. And as you turn the corner, you get a gust of wind and some of this fog is blown out of your way. And in front of you, you see what looks to be a beautiful log-made cabin type place. It's 2 stories tall. Seems to have been made of pine wood. It looks very warm and inviting. There's a sign out front that reads Steamy Springs Spa. Seems to be hand painted and carved. And there's steam just kind of emanating from the back of this place that's kind of wrapping around. You see a beautiful moon looking down over a lake off to the side, down the mountain. And this entire area just seems to be cloaked in this misty fog as the wind kind of picks it up and carries it southward, down around the mountain, toward where you came, toward the town. The stars shine beautifully. There's a bonfire out front, and there's a nice glow coming from within the spa itself. You can hear wood crackling, birds cawing off in the distance. Larger birds.
Big birds.
Down on the lake below, you see the moon glinting off of it, off the lake. And just fields of white everywhere.
Now this is nice.
Asmo's just admiring it.
Yeah, despite the cold licking at your face, the view is just so nice and serene that you can't help but be calmed, even if you are a little uncomfortable with your cold blood. Luckily, your new robes are keeping you nice and warm on the inside. You're nice and toasty.
Wolfgang is going to get a nostalgic look on his face.
He puts his foot up on the rock and just wipes his brow and looks out.
She'd loved it here. My wife. She was into all this rustic crap. She loved the woods.
Oh, she's still with you.
Yeah.
That's what just says. He kind of like just walks towards the building a little bit.
Wolfgang, a hawk flies down and perches on a branch of a tree that's not too far off from you and just kind of looks down at you, cocks its head left and right.
Look up and I cock my head left and right back at it.
It blinks, then looks off into the distance. Its eyes narrow and it swoops out down towards the valley, cutting through the fog, leaving kind of a swath through it as its wings strikes through a strand of it.
He's gonna turn around and head to the springs.
Now you hear a splash in the distance.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath.
You guys make it to a nice wood-thatched door. It's a bit heavy. Open it up, and inside is this nice warm glow with a warm fire kicking in the middle.
Is there like a desk we walk up to?
Yeah, there's a man kind of standing off to the side of the door, behind a desk. Seems to also be made out of wooden logs and it's a very barky wood texture. He kind of waves at you. Hello, welcome to the spa.
I feel like you're saying like the first part of a word, but not the second part.
Terribly sorry. I'm sorry. I don't.
That's a.
Don't be an ass, Asmo.
Nah,
Asmo, very nice to meet you, Mr. Asmo.
it's you can call me Mr. Black.
Mr. Black.
And it's just Asmo just gives like Mr. White a stare. And I blink with my second blinkers.
Sorry, I'm just so used to saying it.
We are here for the comfiness. I don't know what to ask for. I've never been to one of these before.
Well, we have a 2-day package that sets you back about 1,000 gold apiece if you have it.
It's a bit rich for my blood. Wait, hold on. The tickets.
Yeah. Wolfgang pulls out the tickets to the hot springs.
Wolfgang, you produce these tickets and hand them over to him. Ah, from Mr. Fjord. Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen old Darren. How's he doing these days?
Well, let's just say we had to help him out of some troubles in the town.
Got a lot of time on his hands now.
Yeah.
Well, any friend of Darren's is a friend of mine, and these are more than accepted here. Laws Springson. This fine establishment's been in my family for 3 generations now.
We've been around for 3 generations. That means you must be consistent in your quality.
We have been told people come from as far north as the capital and as far south as they can afford it.
Well, we are from the south-ish. I don't know if you've ever seen one of my kind, but let's just
I
say...
certainly have not, sir. You are quite the spectacle, I will say.
I appreciate that. The thing is, for me and my kind, we love a good moist and heat, and I cannot wait to get into this place, so please, by all means...
You have come to the right place, sir.
I
Please
feel like I have.
Allow me to get you your keys for your rooms for the evening.
Oh my god, yes.
Now he reaches, he looks by his desk, opens up like a cabinet and pulls down a couple of keys. It seems like there are a few keys missing on there, but this place doesn't look like it has a whole lot of rooms. There you are. Each of these will go to your own private cabin. Hands each of you a key. They'll be next to each other in case you have need of each other in the evenings.
I would hope not.
Well, it's none of my business. Don't ask. You've also come at a very fortuitous time. There's actually a tavern for a limited time, I believe.
Oh, really? Tell
Yes.
me more. What have you heard about this place?
Funny enough, my grandfather used to tell tales of a man who came by and, well, for the gift of allowing us to use some space and use our services, he would... Well, grandfather said he blessed our springs, but I never took much creed in it until the man showed up the other day.
That's wild.
Looking exactly as my grandfather described him. It is incredible.
That's crazy.
So he showed up here with 2 young, well, teenagers and a surly-looking woman who... She was very interested in our services, but was rather rough to talk to. Yeah, they're set up just outside, just around the corner of the building. I asked where would they find the room, and I'll be damned if they didn't manage.
That's awesome. Well, I think we'll pop over there after we have a dip. So, like, hot springs, like, how does it work? Do you heat up the water in, like, an oven and you just pour it? Or what?
It's the most miraculous thing. My grandfather discovered this place years and years ago, and it seems natural. It comes bubbling forth from the mountain in this heat that nowhere around seems to be able to match. It's just this beautiful temperature that everybody around here claims that it's very rejuvenating and relaxing, and, well, we aim to please.
Aslan just looks to Denier and Wolfgang. So we gonna do this? Aslan, like, kind of nodding like this.
Oh, yeah.
Denier, and Aslan just looks at Denier. Is he already doing that cat pose where they just spray out their legs? Like,
His hair's kind of standing on end a bit.
Yeah, his claws are out. He's ready to grab something.
Denier, no. Aslan grabs Denier and just grabs him by the shoulder and starts pushing him in.
No.
We're going!
No.
Athletics checks.
We're going.
Competing athletics checks.
20!
Natural 0!
Natural 0. Asmo lifts you up, throws you over his shoulder, and just fireman carries you out to the hot springs. You might want to use the changing... As the man's walking out, Asmo, like, kind of slaps open the door.
Kobe, I kick in that door, and I both Kobe and yeet him into the hot springs.
Yeah, you just John Cena F5 him into the water.
I throw my spell book as hard as I can.
No! Yeah, you get your spell book off of you as you, like, just sploosh into this very warm water. Very nice.
I'm sorry about
And
that.
this
Asmo's already kicking off his boots and stripping off everything. Oh my god, I need this right now.
yeah, you walked through what looked to be a changing room of sorts with various cubbies for setting your stuff and getting robed up. It's full of towels. But no, you just threw Denier into these hot springs. And Denier, as you get your head above water, panicking, you look out and you see that beautiful view over the lake again, just off to the side of the mountain. You can decide how you act from there, but that is what you see when you pop your head above water. And Osmo, you strip down and just hop in.
Asmo literally like slithers it, like just touches his toe to it, and like immediately melts into the water like a snake.
Oh yeah, it is like it is very warm. This water is probably 115 degrees Fahrenheit, which is very, very nice bath water.
Yeah, I was about to say that's really good because I actually did go to a hot springs in my youth.
Yeah.
In the mountains called the Kootenays in Canada, and it was one of the most relaxing days. Oh, I know, right?
Well, prepare to relive that, but with your character.
Oh, okay, I guess.
As the cold air kind of like licks your face, as your body is just enveloped in this warm, comforting water. A couple of attendants appear and just start like gathering your clothing and setting them in a cubby. Just for the record, sir, there is a changing area over here.
I remember that for the later. Thank you. Put my clothes there.
Denier, your clothes are sopping wet. But it feels nice. It feels warm.
It does. One day, when you least expect it, Denier says with a slow, mischievous, almost wicked smile, I'm going to have my revenge.
You're welcome.
Asmo just dips underwater.
Yeah, you like go all the way down, just like nose slits and eyes above. Bubbles pop up.
Also, if any of my spell components are ruined, you're paying for them. And he walks out.
Head pops up. What? No.
I warned you.
Yeah, you're just dripping water and emanating steam as you step out of the water.
Just prestidigitation or whatever the heck you guys do.
It doesn't work if it's already destroyed. I'll start prestidigitationing everything and taking stock of everything to see if anything was destroyed.
Yeah, you start drying yourself off. Your hair gets all fluffy and frizzy. You are a puffball right now. As Wolfgang, I'm imagining you're just kind of changing and laughing at the scenario.
Just sort of slowly taking my time, just getting ready to dip in the hot springs.
Denier goes and puts his stuff away, and he comes back and he points at himself, he's stripped down except for the ye olde underwear, which he wears tighty whities.
Ye oldies!
Yes. The burlap sack with 2 holes in it.
Yes. And apart from the fact that he's completely poofed out in every direction possible, he does have a number of scars on him. He's got a 3 on his thigh. He's got a 1 on his shoulder. He's got a number of them on his torso.
All from wounds that have been received throughout this adventure.
Mm-hmm.
The hair seems to be kind of like growing out and like, but there are certain patches where just hair isn't growing. It just seems to be getting covered by hair that's surrounding it.
I realized it'd be Denier's first time seeing Wolfgang without most of his clothes on as well.
Yeah. Yeah, as Wolfgang walks out wrapped in a towel, you see that his body is just covered in scars.
Think Vash the Stampede, but without all the metal bits.
Oh, no! That's not good.
Wolfgang, the walk out to the springs is cold, like winter winds cold, way colder than, like definitely way colder than it was walking up the mountain. But as you step in, it just feels so good, this warm, hot water.
That's it.
Asmo's just doing laps right now, just swimming around, like doing that. You know how snakes swim in the water?
Doing full snake body, like arms pinned aside, legs doing the same. Yeah, this spring is large enough to do that, and there is a dividing wall to the one of the opposite gender.
I see.
Wolfgang
Not that
just
anime.
Sits
that
back,
anime.
Just sits back and relaxes and closes his eyes.
Yeah, every now and again the wind will stop kicking and a form, like a thin veil of mist, will kind of rise up out of the hot springs. Then the wind will kick up and it'll kick away over the side of the mountain. It's a very beautiful night. It's a very nice, relaxing night. Denier, where are you heading out to? Or are you sticking around?
He's sticking around. He's a little bit grumpy-ish, but he did get back into the hot springs.
Yeah, you get back in, your hair kind of like sticks to your side as it sops down. Eventually, a attendant walks out. Looks to be a older woman. Could I get any of you gentlemen something to drink? Some tea, fresh towels?
Tea would be lovely, thank you.
She nods, and looks to the rest of you.
I'm good.
Keep swimming.
I'll have some tea as well.
She nods. Wonderful, I'll be back. She steps back into the place. Eventually, she'll emerge with 2 mugs of tea, and she'll just kind of set them down on the edge closest to where you guys are. She gives a bow and walks back out.
This is a wonderful brief respite before we keep traveling further north. I am at peace. Oh my god, I love this so much.
Worth it. Worth it now?
Well, this is definitely something nice to go along with the crap fest we've had since traveling north. I deserve this so much.
Just lets himself fall underwater.
May we all get exactly what we deserve.
All right. Each of you receive a temporary +2 bonus to dexterity.
Ooh!
Oh, yeah.
How do I do that?
And 10 temporary HP.
Oh.
Which basically gives you a modification bonus of a +1 to dex checks, and obviously your AC goes up 1.
Okay, yeah, because I can't actually do that in my character sheet, but okay.
Yeah, but just for the sake of it, you have 1 more AC in anything that you're doing that involves a dex check, or anything that involves dexterity. Just add 1.
Okay.
For the next day, anyway.
Fallen. Woo!
Denier glances over towards Wolfgang. Every single one of them has a story behind it, don't they? He motions at the scars.
Well, I suppose so.
Wolfgang, you're doing a bit of a scar check. I want you to do a perception check for me.
Okay. Let's see if I remember what that one's from. 4.
Now you're looking around. Something feels off about you, but you're not sure what.
Well, that one was from Asmo when he got taken over by that.
Give me okay. As you look at the Asmo one, it's not there. Yeah, the scar that Osmo would have left on you is not there.
Well, that's odd. Sort of pats his shoulder, trying to feel if there's any deep scar tissue.
Yeah, you still have almost all of your... Wait a sec. The fucking pincushion scar, that massive welt that was left by the Bone Lord, that's gone too.
Huh. I start looking around at my other older scars to see if they're still there.
Yeah, anything that seemed to have been gained over the past week and a half seems to have disappeared.
Asmo,
What?
check yourself. You got any scars?
Not for long. I molt out of them.
Have you molted recently?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
No, okay, fine.
All of my wounds that I've had over the past couple of weeks, they're gone, like they never happened.
Where would Osmo have scars from the recent?
Trying to think of like any of the recent attacks.
You
or
got
something.
hit with a
you
lot
suffered,
of
like,
magic
a lot
missiles.
of blunt damage, but those don't really leave scars.
It's just like being punched really, really hard.
Yeah, I don't think you got like stabbed by anything recently.
I got bludgeoned like crazy.
Yeah,
Asmo
you get
gets
bludgeoned a lot.
Asmo. Oh yeah, actually, Asmo did get those scars from that one fight against that guy.
Which guy?
The guy in the shop where we saved the girl and I got the new dagger.
All right, those are still there, but they're faint.
That's weird. Those were deeper.
Oof.
And Denier, you actually noticed that a lot of those spots where you had scars, like the one on the side of your head in particular, hair has grown back there.
What about the giant one in my torso?
Yeah, it looks like that one, that was also from the Bone Lord, right?
Yeah, that's when the Bone Lord impaled me with the bone rocket.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like tell through all the like the wet hair because you're like, this is like one of the very few baths you've taken, but you're like trying to peel through, but you don't feel it there.
Yeah, I'm not feeling anything. Especially the giant one that I got stabbed by. I'm just not feeling it.
Looking back through my... Can I make some sort of check to figure out when exactly this would have happened?
Sure. Which, like when the scars were healed?
Yeah, when the scars were healed.
That would have been the first perception check, unfortunately.
Ah, okay.
Something recently healed this because, like, the last time you checked on your scars, they were all there.
Must have been... I think maybe when we were entering the town, something must have healed us.
Maybe it's the water we're in right now.
Maybe. Something's healing us. I do feel a lot better. Feel pretty good right now.
I feel like I'm in heaven, if you believe in that.
It's floating down under the water.
Eventually, the attendant comes back out and gives you guys kind of a little talk. This is just a warning. You may stay in as long as you wish, of course. These are your facilities to use, but if you do sit in exposure for too long, it might cause some health issues, low blood pressure, things like that, that might hurt upon exiting.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, the hot water, it makes some people dizzy if they stay in for too long.
A quick question: is this place magical? Does the water got like a magical healing?
Oh, yes. My father-in-law talked a lot about how these waters got blessed some time ago.
Oh. See, there you go, boys.
Some people like to claim they have healing properties, and, well, if that word spreads, then at least our business is doing well. She smiles and bows.
I'll be straight with you. We've been on the road a long time, and we've amassed a number of wounds in our travels, and many of them, the scarring's disappeared. From what I'm seeing, from what I'm looking at, it might just be the water.
Well, that is wonderful. I do hope that you spread the word far and wide for us then. She smiles, a little kind of chubby-cheeked, wrinkly old smile, and bows.
Oh, this is going in my book for sure.
Oh, an author. Wonderful.
Denier smiles with, indeed. And
she makes her way back out.
he'll climb out of the water and he'll press a digitation himself back into the puffball.
Yeah. You're puffy again. You just kind of like waddle forward.
This is why I hate water. Takes half a day to dry myself normally, and I get puffy when I use magic.
Your clothes are all dry, and they've actually been kind of sitting over one of those hearth rocks, and they're actually nice and toasty now.
Wonderful. Then Denier will grab his clothes. He'll get dressed and he'll check, make sure everything's in the right place, where it is. General
Feel free to go
general
unpack
inventory
in your
check.
room as you need to.
Yeah.
It's just up the stairs from the main lobby.
All right, good deal. And Denier will head to his room for at least the time being, and he'll wait in the lobby for the other two for Wandering Weasel.
Wolfgang, Osmo, anything you want to do before getting out and getting dressed and such?
Az was just gonna sit there bobbing, just enjoying the soak and just.
Yeah, Wolfgang will probably get out and.
I'll be out. I'll be out in 5. This is
All
really
right.
good.
You got one of those like little towels on your head, and you're just kind of sinking in. Tongue flicking out of the water every now and again.
Yeah, he's got the towel on the forehead, just
Yeah.
leaning back.
Wolfgang, you get up. Your clothes are all nice and folded where you left them in one of those cubbies. You get changed back. Actually, there's a robe there if you want to use the robe and take the stuff back up to the room if you want. But you get dressed how you see fit.
I'll probably at least put on my pants.
And you go unload the stuff that you want to unload in your quarters. Your quarters are nice. They seem to be wooden frame beds that seem nice and stuffed. Nice linens on top of them with a comfy pillow. There's a thick comforter, a nice big window that looks out over the mountainside. There's a chair in there and a washroom down the hall should you need it.
This is lovely. These.
Asmo, gets dressed, comes out, just wearing his normal gear.
Yeah, all your stuff was neatly folded by the attendant. All of your things are, still where you left them. All daggers sheathed. Same with your short swords. And eventually you all meet in the lobby, and this is where we will take a break. So you guys find yourself in the lobby of the spa. It's nice, warm wood everywhere. There's a beautiful hearth in the middle with actual crackling fire. It smells like warm pine and fresh-baked cinnamon buns.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this place is cozy AF.
I want to marry this place. You heard me. I'll marry a location.
Yeah, nothing wrong with marrying a place. I have no problem with this. I am open to anything.
It's D&D. I'll let you role play.
I roll in that 20. I'll marry a landmark if I want.
Yeah, Wolfgang, you come down the stairs. You see Asmo and Denier standing there, just kind of chatting. Asmo standing a little close to the hearth. Denier sort of glaring at him, waiting for him to drop his guard at some point.
Oh, you're all mad, but you enjoyed yourself.
Funny enough, I think you just muted yourself when you started talking.
Yeah, I was taking nothing more about. Yep, I enjoyed it, but I'm going to enjoy even more.
Yep.
What's going to happen when you let your guard down? Truly,
Never do. Never do. Never happened.
we'll see. I can be patient.
Oh, and I can be persistent. Come at me, cat.
Yeah, that's what you walk down to, Wolfgang.
Asma starts shaking a maraca. Asma starts shaking a maraca.
Oh, what's the matter? Had to get an additional accessory because you don't have a rattle?
Oh, those guys suck.
It's true, they do.
Have you ever met one of them?
No. That's what I read.
I read they specifically suck.
Did you write that specifically?
You gotta understand, some people just bullshit you nonstop and you keep buying into it, Denier. It's cute. But so naive.
Well, sometimes you gotta learn from a bullshitter to be able to tell what bullshit is.
Ooh, you wound me so deep. Yes, I thought you were the assassin.
No. But keep an eye out. You might be seeing him before long.
Hey, you better call him out if he ever comes after me again. I accept this little beat, this for fun beef. Let's not have this actually stray into actual territory of actual wounds being inflicted, okay?
No, nothing like that. To give you a heads up, I've been changing my spell so that it gives an audible noise instead of the silent alarms.
Well, that's actually good. That means I would be able to hear it too.
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody within a short range of it will be able to hear it. It sounds like a bell's charming.
Damn. That's interesting.
Uh,
Well, if only you had that before I picked you up.
Asmo just smiles. And you see he just smiles with his giant smirk, with his golden fang.
Denier smirks as well. You caught me off guard. I won't let that happen again.
You two done getting the floor all wet with your pissing contest?
Wolfgang says, leaning against a pillar.
Just having a little bit of fun. You do know what that is, right?
I had fun once.
Well, I guess
Didn't
it was
like it.
terrible.
Didn't like it.
Well, I thought that's how you had your kid.
Asmo smiles.
If you're referring to that, I've had fun quite a few times.
I have so much sex. Okay, you don't even.
I have a lot of sex.
Yeah.
They call me Mr. Sex Haver.
Not as much since the wife died, though.
Okay, then we're now spreading out of character. Or was that in character?
Anyway, so we're gonna go check up on you know who.
Oh, yeah. You can say who it is. They all know who he is.
Man looks up from behind the counter. You mean Tom?
That'll be him.
Ha, he's just around the way outside there.
He's
Alright,
a card,
thank you.
isn't he?
Sorry, what was that?
He's a card, isn't he?
Ah, yes, quite the individual.
Actually, I actually got something good.
Asmo gets up and he walks out.
Yeah, you open the door, cold wind kind of licks at your face as you step out there. Still a beautiful night.
Okay, so before when we get to the door, I'd like to walk in and say something.
Okay.
No. He's gonna trust me. He's gotta trust me. Okay.
All right. As you're walking around the building, you're stepping down some stone steps that lead to kind of below where the hot springs is. You see a familiar green sign kicking out below or next to the house's foundation.
Well, there's a hell of a location, isn't it?
Asmo opens up to the door and opens it up. And Asmo says the second he opens up the door,
Welcome to the Wandering Weasel.
You look up and you see a different face behind the bar, but a familiar face nonetheless. Dressed in a button-up white shirt and looking at you with a bit of surprise, because that's all he knows how to do, is Pip. He gets a big smile on his face and points at you.
Look at you. You're not sweeping anymore. You're cleaning up with income instead of the floor.
He kind of nods and kind of pulls at his black vest that has kind of a yellow and red paisley pattern going down the side of it.
Snazzy.
Yeah, Tom looks around the corner. Hey, did you do the... Oh, hello, it's you again.
Yes, it is us again. How's the North been treating you on your little tour?
Well, after we lost track of you outside of, what was that town, Birchwood Creek? Well,
Yeah.
we stayed around there for a little bit, gathered some stories from the local populace. Heard some great ones about, I believe it was about you, Flot, actually.
Why?
Aswell just gestures to Wolfgang.
Well,
Yes, something about a giant skeleton and kidnapped cows and daring heroes defying the odds and entering crypts. It was wonderful.
oh yeah, that one's pretty crazy.
Yes, we tried traveling northward a little after that, but unfortunately the town of Coldreach was blocked off by the time we got there, so we continued northward and eventually found our way here.
Yeah, Cold Reach was us too.
Well, I still have yet to hear word of what happened in that particular town, but welcome to the Wandering Weasel nonetheless. I'm sure you did.
Well,
You
you
did.
didn't understand him?
Oh, of course. Do you not?
What language is he speaking?
As far as I can tell, same as anyone.
I mean, I get that it's a language, but it feels more like something else. I can see through his eyes. I can see what he wants.
Say you do understand.
Yeah, what he wants is to get me a drink. Thank you.
Ha! Wonderful. Pip, serve the man up.
I'll have a Pilsner.
Boy's quite good at making cocktails.
It's just
Kind of like
beer,
he's
though.
kind of like got his face, and he's it turns around, pulls on a tap, and
So good
gives
at
you
that.
it gives you a beer with a perfect amount of head.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So, how's it been working?
He's like, he's like nods and points at a tip jar.
I mean, oh my god. Okay, fine.
Aswell puts 5 gold coins in there.
He kind of claps.
Yeah. Just only because I like you. I'm happy you're actually fitting in here and doing well for yourself.
He's doing a wonderful job. Mixes drinks better than I ever have, eh, what?
Well, in that case, I'll have a Amber Glade lemonade. It's just lemonade with whiskey in it.
Yeah, he nods, turns around, grabs a couple, starts opening up like a small drawer, and like there's a chunk of ice that falls out into it, pours some whiskey into it, squeezes some lemons, throws in some syrup, claps the other end, just shakes it, pours it into a glass, garnishes it with a cherry, sets it in front of you.
Wow.
Take a sip.
That's a lot of work for booze.
Tastes really good.
Mm.
Perfectly balanced. Like it doesn't have too much of that alcohol kick, but you can tell it's there. It's nice and sweet, but it's also got that like pungent, oaky taste that you're looking for.
That's a damn fine cocktail, Pip.
Points
Does
to
he-
the tip jar.
I toss him 3 gold.
Kind of like gives as much of a facsimile of a smile as he can with his little stretched out concerned face.
Just imagine it's a frown, but the corners are perked up a little bit.
You can see it in his eyes.
So, you got any specials today, Tom?
Oh, ask the boy. He kind of holds up a little sign that says Misty Swirl.
I'll go ahead and I'll try one of that.
He goes back to start concocting the beverage. Tom kind of pulls up next to you. So, what did go on in that town there?
We saw something that I don't even think that you've ever seen.
Ooh, wonderful. Go on.
Wolfgang, do you still have its skull?
Wolfgang pulls out from his pack the horned skull.
Ooh. No,
Aswell like
Alright,
chugs
what
it.
is...
Aswell chugs his beer when he does that.
Oh, you're right. I can't say I've seen anything quite like it. It's too small to be a troll, and what are these horns?
Well, you know me, coming from a long line of monster hunters.
Of course.
Acquired quite a bit of knowledge about monsters, different types, different phenotypes and genotypes and stuff like that.
Fancy words, yes.
We've never seen anything like this.
Well, I guess that means you got to name it.
It's
What do you call this?
a Claritrix.
Claritrix. Claritrix. Rolls off the tongue. I like it.
Nasty creature. Once we got into town, there have been a number of murders. And the three of us were tasked along with a couple of Wolfgang's cousins to try to solve the murders. Not all of us made it out, but we found who it was. More cultists of the Bleeding God.
I heard a bit about the murders, but... Well, those two gentlemen left a bit ago.
Let me guess. A half-elf bard, and an enchanter in a rather tatty black cloak.
Oh, they were both elves. Full, I believe, if I were to wager a guess. Could be
You get
first
any names?
generation, one of them. One of them's a regular around here, but what was his name? What was his name? Hackless. Hackless is the one that keeps coming in. The other one
Does
was
he now?
Oh yeah. Why, you know him? Lush says, kind of like from down the bar as she's walking in.
Yes, sweetheart, I do. We met him briefly.
She lets that slide.
Oh, I'm glad she does.
You said someone else who came along, though?
Yes, another elfin man. Looked to be a bit of a...
Half-elf, was he small?
No, he's full elf.
Was he a performer of sorts?
Yes. Seemed to carry himself as such.
Oh, son of a bitch. They're traveling together.
Probably heading towards the capital.
I don't know if they're traveling together or not, but...
Did
one
they
of them
come in?
did seem to be in a bit of a hurry. The other one, Hackless, you said his name was? Yes! God, he's been here 7 times.
Wow.
That one, he stuck around a bit longer.
He's still in town.
Hasn't come by today, so perhaps?
You saw him yesterday, though.
Yes. Yeah, that's, no, it was a couple days ago when he showed up. Came
He's
through the
been-
door.
He's been making ground fast then.
Like, you
Maybe.
tell me, you've seen him 7 times. What places have you seen him? If you can say, because this place travels and moves around a lot. What I'd like
Yes,
to
it
know
was-
is the places that you've seen him in. Where were they?
Well, first time I met him was in River Run. He was just beginning his journey, I believe. Next time I saw him was a little further out east. Old fishing hamlet, don't really recall the name. And then a few more times there before we decided to move, and let's see, I think we caught him near Fallwood Barrow one time. A little before we met you, actually. And then again up here.
Aslan just kind
Of
of
course,
looks at
of course, that was after I gave him the key, so now he can come in whenever he wants.
Aslan just looks him dead in the eye.
He has a key to enter whenever he wants.
Oh, of course. So do you.
Aslan just puts his hands to his face.
And that's why he disappeared when he went upstairs.
Yeah, that's how I got away.
Son of a bitch, son of a bitch!
Aslan just slams his drink down and throws it onto the ground.
Pip kind of like stumbles a little as he's coming back with Daenerys' drink. It's this little concoction that's giving off this sort of like white mist. And on the inside is what looks to be a bluish concoction with a red swirl to it. Sets it down gently in front of Denier.
Denier goes ahead and he puts 5 gold into the tip jar before Pip even motions to it.
He waves at you and just kind of steps back nervously. And then he steps around the corner and starts to grab for a broom to sweep up the broken glass at Asmo's feet.
Asmo's just got a hand in his face right now.
Is something the matter, boys?
Well, we sort of feel as though that he may be involved with some of the events that went on.
Well, I'm terribly sorry. Had I known, I certainly would have asked him at the very least. But he told me his story and carried on his business the next day.
What did he tell you?
Well, he told me about the string of murders, about the interesting artifacts he found around there. Not much else beyond that.
What artifacts?
Well, he told me about a cloak he found. Apparently the one he has now isn't the same as the one he had found, though. He was confused about that.
That's interesting. Did he go into any specific details about it?
He claimed the old cloak that he found would mask his face and contort his voice. This current one just seems to change his stature a bit.
His stature.
Yeah, makes him appear a bit taller.
Oh.
Or shorter, as he needs to.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh, no.
Well, that
Wolfgang-
complicates things.
What are the... Forgive me, Tommen, but I gotta ask. For our own sake, what do we have to do to... If we prove that this person's up, what would you consider a reason to lose the key privileges?
Well, that kind of as long as you have them, you can use them sort of thing in my book. I've never had to take one from somebody.
What if we presented a situation we felt you needed to?
What situation are you presuming?
I can't confirm it. None of us can. Let's just say the last entanglement we found ourselves in was a bit stressful for me, and I believe this Hackless. I know pieces of garbage, and this man stinks. And I don't know why. I don't know how. This guy's got some explaining to do, and he needs to stop being cute when he explains it.
Well,
Because the simple fact is, he rolled into town at a very weird time, and all of a sudden, a certain knife went missing, the one used by the killer. Right as he left.
well, young Hackless is... That's his name, right, Hackless? Yes. He's always been very polite and kind around here. I've never had any reason to believe he might.
He has something to gain from being nice to you. You've given him a magical tool. He can use it to escape from any situation. We were conducting an investigation. And he dipped out when we wanted him to stay around, meaning he didn't respect us enough. With the law and what we were doing there, he cared more about leaving on his own. And he took a friend with him who was also someone else who was under suspicion. They both left. Just like that. Gone.
Well,
And then what ensued afterwards led to us having to kill the Claratrix.
it sounds like that needed to happen regardless. Yes?
I don't
Based on
know.
what you're telling me.
I don't know. I need another beer, Pip, please.
Sorry about the mess. Asmo drops 5 more gold into the tip jar.
Pip nods and pours another one in a fresh mug for you. Slides it down to you.
Asmo, if memory serves right, when we got that key from Tommen, He said you can only use it once every, I believe, full moon. You can only use it
once every rotation of the moon.
Yeah.
So if we can get him again, he won't have an escape route.
We don't
Sounds
know if
like-
he's still here.
Sounds like we can't kill him. I think he has some splaining to do.
Well, perhaps you should ask our patrons. Maybe they've heard things around the town.
Who's all in the bar right now?
There's a few people up here. Seems to be some townies. The invisible waitresses are walking around in warmer-looking clothing, but still revealing nonetheless.
Showing up them those thighs or
Yeah,
booby? Boobies?
Yeah. I mean, they're
Boobies.
yeah, they seem to be some animal skins with like furry parts that kind of cut out towards the revealing sections.
My God in heaven.
And yeah, around here there seems to be a decent amount of people that have made their trek up here. Obviously, the people who run the hot springs are happy about this because it brings patrons, and the people who are already staying at the hot springs have a nice tavern to drink at. And yeah, there's some men, women, some look like locals, some look like travelers. The ones who are more clearly local seem to be dressed more conservatively, whereas the travelers seem to have more decadent attire with, you know, jewelry and things like that.
Asmo kind of looks over to the two of them. You guys want to go ask around? Please do it. I'm too pissed right now.
Denier nods, but he turns back to Tom. So, I have a question for you. These
Yes, my boy.
keys, if you use the key, I understand that it will fit in any lock, any door with an actual lock on it,
Yes, as long as the door is solid.
and it'll bring you here once per rotation. If you
Yes.
close the door, do you have a choice to go back to where you came from, or do you automatically come out of where your bar is located?
As long as you use the key from the inside, you can go right back to where you came from, or you can stay where the bar is. Either way,
see.
once you leave, the key will become inactive until the next full moon.
That's interesting.
Yes, never had to use it myself per se, but that is how I understand they work.
Could be an interesting way of traveling if one would be able to stay in communication with you.
Perhaps.
Well, depending on where you are at the time.
Yes, we do like to travel. We are still traveling around this area here, thinking about making our way towards Bordeaux. Haven't been down there recently. Plus, we've heard dreadful tales of that place, and just want to confirm it for myself.
Yeah, I've heard the same rumors. Apparently there's some jester walking around causing all kinds of havoc.
Yes, and I feel the closer we get to that territory, the more true the rumors will become fact.
What does the Denier's drink taste like, Lani?
Denier's drink, it tastes very interesting. Imagine like a blue raspberry slushy with kind of a twist of lemon, and you get kind of a kick from some sort of tropical, some form of southern liquor like tequila or rum. You can't quite tell the difference.
Ooh.
It's very nice. Very pleasant. Very refreshing.
That sounds delicious.
It's nice. You boys might want to try it.
Pip gives just a bit of a thumbs up.
Thinking about the spell, thinking about the cloak that Tom described, can I make a Arcana check to see if that would put, knowing Hackless's stature and the speculation of the quality of the cloak, could Denier speculate on if Hackless would be able to shrink himself enough to be able to stab Forrest?
That's going to have to be with disadvantage. And that's going to be a pretty high check.
Yeah. Arcana?
Yep.
Hit him with
Okay.
a natural 20.
Yeah, just get double nat 20. You'll be fine.
Getting a little wang bang. Thank you, man.
Nope, that's a
Nat
natural one.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
That's the reverse.
Yeah, I'm afraid that there's nothing you can really glean from. I mean, obviously it's possible, but you don't know exactly what this cloak does because you can't examine it yourself.
Yeah.
Based on its description, you're not sure whether this is something that is actually making him shrink or grow. You do remember that it was illusionary magic, but again, that could have just affected Forrest and how he saw things.
Mm-hmm. You know, Hackless could be the one that attacked Forrest. If Tommen is right, and the cloak makes him shrink or grow, Hackless could have been the one to do it. And it would make sense since Hackless doesn't have a gem because we took the gem from him.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we're here. We should probably try to find him.
Well, best of luck to you. Sorry I couldn't be of more help in that front.
All right. Can I make a general investigation check to ask around the crowd? See what I can gather specifically about Hackless. If he left town, if he's in town, if he dropped off any kind of equipment as of late, things like that.
Yeah, sure. If you're looking specifically for Hackless and not like local rumors or anything like that.
I'll
Tom made it sound like Hackless left this bar yesterday and hasn't come back.
Now I'll shift it to local rumors.
All right, you're gonna try to information gather among the crowd. Go
Yeah.
ahead and roll me a investigation.
Okay. 13.
All right, you, from various table to table, you kind of like wander. You probably talk to like 3 groups. Each ask them like, "Hey, anything weird going around?" How would you phrase the question exactly?
Has there been any kind of weirdness as of late? Any kind of rumors, things going missing? Any kind of anything out of the ordinary happening as of late?
With a 13, you could gather that there have been rumors of some attacks off to the north a little bit, near the entrance of the valley, off to the side of the mountain.
Any kind of specifics of the attacks or just attacks?
Seems to be a man in a cloak, but they don't really know the specifics because they didn't really stick around to hear the story from the person that was telling it. They're kind of getting it fourth hand. Is the information you gather from these folk anyway.
Okay.
Anybody else want to ask around the crowd?
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Okay.
There's no drinking your beer, catching up with Pip in what ways you can.
Yeah, Asmo's pissed. So Asmo's not.
He just kind of like leans forward on the bar and he's like,
Does he
with a
put
gesture
the...
like, "You want to talk?"
I'm fine. This last mission was a bit rough.
Sets another beer in front of you. Kind of like points up. As if
Anyways,
like saying, kind of like on the house.
I appreciate that.
Does he have like a does he have like a little, I guess, you know when like a bartender throws like a cloth over the shoulder?
He does have a mug rag, yes.
Ah, my god.
And when he's talking, he's just like,
Oh man, he has a class act.
yeah, he has a nice cravat around his neck too.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
But go ahead and give me a investigation check, Wolfgang.
Okie dokie. That's a 12.
You're getting a lot of the same rumors as Denier, but you also hear that just because this is a check on, I'm counting this as an assisted investigation check. You're also getting that basically there was a tall man accompanied by a relatively shorter man in a cloak, and they were both being followed around by an even shorter man who seemed to be, like, you know, trying to talk to them a lot, but they the two other ones left, and the other one just kind of slunk off after a while. This happened sometime within the last few days. There aren't too specific about it because there are a few drinks in.
Whoever is.
Yeah, the short one seemed angry, though. And he wandered out of town to the south.
To the south.
Couple days. Oh.
Yeah,
Like
within the
2 days?
past few days. You're not positive exactly when this would have been, but it seems to line up with your stabbing victim. The others left in a direction that you're not entirely sure of, because they aren't sure.
Okay. That seems to match up nicely.
Yeah, you're thinking if you're going to gather any more actual rumors from this, probably from people that, you know, live in the town is probably the best, because they're the ones that spread the gossip of those that travel through.
Osmo's gonna pop up and actually leave. I'm stepping out for a few. And Osmo's gonna go wander to the other tavern.
That's all the way down the stairs in the town.
Should I not go that way?
I mean, you can. I'm not going to stop you from splitting up if you want. I mean, you could suggest to them that maybe you could gather more information there if you wanted to keep the party together, but...
Hey, boys. Osmo calls over.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go wander to the other tavern. The one in town. Get information from there.
And don't get me wrong, this place has a couple pieces of information, but not everyone.
On the shadow. Sorry, I chugged these beers. Not everyone.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a Constitution check, by the way.
It's only 2 beers.
You had 3.
What? I did?
Yeah.
That's a 9!
You're a little tipsy.
And that's the thing. They never really go around. They usually wander to different places. And while this place is nice, they probably went to the other one. So, might be best to find out what the regulars know. I'll see if I can round up anybody who was on the shadier sort.
Makes sense.
I speak of their language. Is that good?
Right.
All right, we'll be back, Tommen.
Oh, take care.
See you soon, Pep.
Demir finishes his drink.
Goodbye, my sweet.
Asmo does a slight, just bow to Lush, ironically, and keeps walking.
Go ahead and roll perception. Or, not perception, persuasion.
She's gonna fucking kill you, you know.
9.
9 in persuasion. She rolls her eyes at you and just, waves
Excellent.
you off. Kind of
X.
uses the hand wave away, just get the fuck out. She let the first one slide.
All right.
And she likes you enough not to throw shit at you, clearly.
There you go. See, that's what Osmo's going to abuse.
All right. Yeah, you guys exit out the Wandering Weasel. Cold wind hits your face as you leave out there. Moon still shining bright over the mountaintops, and you start making your way down through the mist. It's warm going through it again, and you make your way back into town with the white glowing light above you.
How warm is it outside right now?
Like I said, it's probably a warm winter day. Like when you're down in town.
Okay.
When we go in, let me do the talking.
Yeah, you find your way towards the center of town at the center of the crossroads. One of the roads leads off to kind of a dead end that's almost kind of like a cul-de-sac-like area that seems to be a bunch of cheaper inns and what look to be living, long houses and stuff like that people probably share as families and things. You find your way to the town's tavern. It's not an open-air tavern, but there is an open-air section to it.
What's
There's
it called?
This is... Yeah, sorry, let me finish my description first.
Yeah,
There's kind of a open bar kind of area that leads from inside to outside, where if people are too cold, they can stand inside and talk to those on the outside. But people on the outside could still lean up to that bar and get service. The tavern is called the Steamy Springs Tavern. Doesn't seem to be anything fancy about it.
Okay. Asmo walks in. I guess the boys follow him.
Yeah, you make your way inside. It's not as warmly lit as the spa, but it still has like a hearth in the middle, and there are definitely a couple of those hearth bricks laying around. On the inside, there are zombie servants kind of carrying around drinks and trays of food. All of them have their lower jaws missing and their teeth on the top taken out.
Well, this is a lively place. He says,
Actually,
he says ironically.
It doesn't seem that bad, actually. I mean, the people there are making good conversation. It definitely seems like the Wandering Weasel has taken some of their business. There are more empty tables than you'd expect for a place this size. But, yeah, it seems decent enough in here. The man behind the bar waves at you. Hello, welcome!
Thank you.
There are individuals around, definitely people of lower income stay here. Like, this is definitely a tavern for locals. It seems well decorated enough that it can service those that travel through town, but it's clearly seen wear, and it is nowhere near as majestic as the Wandering Weasel. You see some people playing cards around here. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Asmo walks up to the bartender.
I will have your local ale, please.
One ale coming up.
I got a weird question for you, actually. Me and my compatriots are actually traveling through the north. We're currently heading to the capital, but he's writing a book. But there's something that's interesting to me. Like,
what's that?
It's just we're not used to seeing. I guess where we're from, which is a little bit to the south, not south, right? But a little bit to the south.
Well, nothing to read into there.
Fuck, Nick, you completely broke my immersion. Nah, I want to reset the whole campaign now.
All
save
right.
state. I'm save stating.
Flashback. Okay.
Anyways, but I noticed like a lot of magic, like the zombies as your employees.
Oh, yes, everybody studies magic around these parts.
Yeah, but like, it's weird that sorcerers also, I don't know, are treated the way they are. What do you think
implying?
I have no idea. I'm just observing. I one of the reasons we're reading this book right now.
You one of those sympathizers?
Not a sympathizer, necessarily. I just try to stay neutral on most things, keep my head down. That's how I've done really well for myself so far.
And I just flash the coin bag and I slap it down.
I will be drinking a bit tonight. But
You've kind of regained his interest, but he gives you a little bit of a, well, let me tell you, there is no neutral when it comes to those damn magic bloods. If you get one of them, they don't control it. They might explode and take your whole town with it. I've heard of it happening. It's a damn curse from the south.
Ain't that the truth?
Sending them up here, corrupting our blood, making them volatile from within. Those damn dragons, they don't know what's coming for them.
Really?
Well, not for me personally, of course.
No, of
Once
course.
our grand leader returns, he'll show them. He hands you a mug. There you are, one pine ale.
Thank you very much.
Have a sip. Is it good?
It tastes interesting. It is like if you brewed an ale with a bunch of pine needles in it.
Oh,
It has this kind of rustic sort of piney taste.
oh that sounds so
not
good.
it's not necessarily it's not the most pleasant taste in the world, but it's not unpleasant at the same time. It's just got a weird kick to it.
You are
I'm
drinking
trying to
pure
figure out what that would taste like.
Canada. Oh, Canada.
I have a candle that smells like that, but I'm trying to picture that in my mouth, and none of it is good.
Yeah, just pop it out and throw it in.
Go lick the candle, find out.
All right, here I go.
Take a big bite of that candle.
Here I go. All right, here I go.
Don't actually
That's
do it.
It's a pine ale. It's a subtle piney flavor. It's not like overwhelming.
Mm. But here's the so where'd you hire these zombies from?
Oh, you don't hire zombies. You dig them up and you make them work for you.
Oh, as you do.
As you do.
I just figured it was similar to like the carriage we actually rode it on.
Oh, no. You came from the company? Yeah. Phantom Steeds, they do good work. You know,
Yeah,
you can buy them if you have enough money for the contracts.
That's crazy. Yeah, our guy was in pretty high spirits, so yeah.
Can't tell if that's a joke. Were you riding with a ghost?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Ha! Good joke.
Thank you. I stole it. But so yours you dug up and you just made him work for you.
Well, some of them I dug up. Some of them couldn't pay their bar tab. Ha ha! Little joke for you.
Yeah, it's scary. Did you find I mean, obviously you didn't get a sorcerer to do this. Did you just buy something that just and like create a zombie? I'm asking because I'm a fighter and I like to practice against moving targets.
Oh, no. I practice the necromancy myself, sir. Me and my family. Been at it for years. My papa taught me. I teach my son.
Cool.
Oswald's gonna take his drink.
Well, thank you very much. Can I get a picture of this? This pine ale is fucking delicious.
Absolutely. I'll have it brought out to you. You'll be sitting somewhere, so you'll be standing here.
Do you have a booth?
There's a few open tables around here. Those damn people that moved in from the south brought all the business out of here for the evening. Sure hope they move on soon.
Yeah, here's hoping, right?
Here's hoping.
Asmo wanders over, just gestures to the guys to wander over to the table.
Daniel moves over and sits across from him.
Denier,
Look over.
you think he got anything?
Give a little bit of a shrug, and move over to the seat.
It looked like he sort of fucked up with the whole magic bloods thing.
Just look over to your left, and there's a zombie holding a pitcher. Its tongue kind of like waggling out from where its bottom jaw would be.
You think they would put? You think they would put like handkerchiefs over them or something? I just.
Or like an iron jaw or something like that.
Ooh, would you like that? Would you like an iron jaw?
One of its eyes kind of rolls out of its eye hole.
Well, take that as a no.
Worst case scenario, we can just let them know that we put one down in the last town.
Oh, yeah, we did. That we did.
It wanders back off to a corner, waiting for its next command.
Yep, Denier moves over and he sits down across from Asmo.
Necromancy is so goddamn casual here. It's crazy.
Asmo just pretty much explains the conversation he just had, if they weren't hearing it.
Yeah. It's
No wonder
pretty
these.
crazy.
Like, not that I know these. No, we're just trying to find the jewel up north and just bounce out. But no wonder they're spreading everywhere since necromancy is so casual around here.
Knowledge is magic. And here, magic is power.
Unless you're too magical, then they fucking kill you.
It's all about control.
The ambiance of the bar is disrupted as a woman bursts into the bar. Up north! They're gonna die! They're gonna die! Everybody's just kind of taken aback and just looks at this woman. Please, somebody! My husband!
Ma'am.
She walks over to you, being the first people to respond. Please, he's going to kill them.
Oh my God. What's your name?
My name's Flora. Please. A brunette half-elf, a black-haired half-elf woman is pleading with you with tears in her eyes. Please, he's going to kill them.
Your last name wouldn't happen to be Forrest, would it?
No. Just... Okay. We were coming back down from up north and we were attacked, please.
Wolfgang pulls out He just slaps 2 gold on the table and says, "Lead the way."
She nervously nods. Please, come on.
Oswald downs his drink as fast as he can, just goes, God fucking damn it.
Denier makes a fishing pole motion to Asmo as he walks after Wolfgang.
Yeah. God damn it.
All right.
All right, Asmo, I need you to make one more con save as you've just downed a 4th beer.
Natural 1.
You will be taking disadvantage on dex checks for a bit.
Ah, yes, it's Oh, no. But that's my primary stat, Nick.
I know.
No!
I will not count attack rolls with this though.
Thank God.
Just anything that involves a dex check will involve, like, you're kind of stumbling from side to side here for a sec. You're shaking yourself. I'm good.
And that perception check was to see Denier's gesture.
You missed it. You're following this woman who is, like, you've kind of, like, got your arm draped around her. She seems very shaken, and she's just leading you out.
Yep. Got my hand sort of cocked in a pulling the trigger position in case I need to summon Requiem real fast.
Yeah, she hurriedly leads you up, and you're starting to head out towards the north of town, as she stated, and you start entering the mist. It was up this way, just up the trail. We got attacked, and my husband is holding it off.
Asmo incites her real fast. 14.
You don't think she's lying?
I'm also going to preemptive angelic sight just to detect to see if I see any magic through like walls or something.
All right, you're peering around as you're walking up this area. The wind is blowing fairly well. You see, like, kind of like the wisps of smoke just swirling around you as you're entering what feels to be, with the kind of wind that you're hitting, you're definitely in a valley of sorts. It feels like a bit of a wind tunnel. It can't be much further, please. We have to hurry. I need you all to make a athletics check as she is just pushing forward as if, like, you know, she's been living here forever.
6. Mage armor.
15.
6.
All right, the wind is kind of holding you back, but she keeps, like, motioning you forward and just like, please hurry. Asmo, you're carrying on just fine.
I'm feeling good still. Still feeling good from the damn.
You're drunk, Asmo.
Yeah, a little bit.
I want you all to make a perception check as you were getting around here.
6.
9.
4.
Fuck!
Too much mist is in your face right now. You're not catching anything. There's too many echoes going on around here. You can't tell, like, what sound is coming from what. You're hearing, like, clatters and... And unfortunately, you lost sight of the woman, but you can still hear her ahead of you.
I want to insight.
Please.
This is sketchy. Asmo just says, this doesn't feel right. I don't like this at all.
What do you want to do?
I want to insight because I'm not feeling right. This doesn't feel right.
Go ahead. Insight.
Nat 2023.
From the God's honest, you feel that this woman is just panicking for somebody's life right now.
Denier's going to double speed. He's going to rush after her.
All right, the wind is still kicking at you, so you're kind of keeping pace with everybody else right now. But you're all just doing your damnedest to keep up. But her voice is starting to echo across these caverns a little bit as you're entering what seems to be a bit more of a rocky outcropping. You can still follow her footprints, but I need you all to make a perception check to try to keep track of where she is.
I'm going to light cantrip to see if I can spot her.
Asmo with a nat 1, go ahead and use a light cantrip, and it definitely makes you a beacon, but it's barely cutting through the fog right now.
10.
10 for Denier, and
Has to be 16.
Not bad.
yeah, you can catch her. You see her footprints, and you know which, like, judging by her footprints and where her voice is calling out from, you're able to find her, and you're actually able to re-catch up with her a bit. Like, she slows down because she realizes you're not with her. we were wandering this way. I'm sorry, I feel like I was running for minutes, and Darum! Darum! You hear clattering. I want you to make a perception check to see if you can find where that's coming from.
Oh yeah, another 16.
16.
16.
And oh my god, why? There we go. 9.
Yeah, Wolfgang and Denier, you're able to pinpoint the direction. It seems to be coming from the northwest a little bit up the mountain a touch. You start traveling up. It looks like there's actually been a bit of a scuffle, and you find a piece of a scarf laid down and a small couple of drops of blood that also trail off in that direction.
I bend down and I pick up the scarf and I hold it to her. Familiar?
I made it for him last year, for his name day.
I stuff it in my pocket. I motion to keep moving. Follow the blood
right.
trail.
You start moving up the mountain path that cuts up the mountain. The mist is still fairly thick. And as you're traveling up, you're following the blood trail. The blood seems to stop dripping after a little bit. From here, you're still able to follow the footprints. Make me a survival check to follow these footprints further, as the wind is still kicking up.
14.
11.
And 19.
Asmo, you not only catch the footprints, but you catch the scent of blood in the air from your tongue. It seems to be clinging to the mist a bit, but you're able to pinpoint it, and you, with these various forms, are able to continue tracking them. You find that they lead up a small rocky path as you continue to climb this mountain.
This way!
Still seems footed, but it looks like there's a chase being given. And as you reach further up the mountain, the mist starts to give way a little bit, so you can finally see a bit further ahead of you than you normally would. You can probably see about 100 feet, maybe. It's still kind of obfuscated by fog, but it's not as thick as it was when you were lower, so you're able to determine exactly, the shapes of things ahead of you. And you're still hearing what sounds like a struggle up ahead. And you see a shape in the distance, kind of a lump. As you approach it, you start to find more pools of blood. And the woman breaks down into tears as she rushes forward. Darren, no!
Did she keep saying Darren?
Darum.
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 You find a half-elf male slumped there, clothes tattered, stab marks all over him.
Any sign of life?
His eyes are open and glazed over.
I'm gonna try a healing hands.
Is that a once a day thing?
That's my one a day. Yeah.
Okay, you did use it earlier to save Forrest.
Oh. Is it not? All right. Then I'll go ahead and pop. I'll say pop 2 uses of healing light.
Go ahead. Do you want to run a medical check first on this man?
Sure. Medicine 18.
He's dead as fuck. Like, he has been stabbed at least 8 times. His front of him is covered in blood. His face is paler than Forrest's.
Wolfgang
And-
holds up his hand, glowing a little bit, about ready to cast it, and then he's like slowly lowers it, shakes his head.
The woman is just weeping over him. No.
So sorry.
You continue to hear clattering up the trail.
What attacked you?
Asmo whispers.
Tell us now.
Some angry, hooded little man.
Sounds like him. Ma'am, you're not safe here.
Don't want to live. She just sits weeping over this man's body.
I'm gonna look around. Is there anywhere like a alcove or something that she can stay in to keep her at least out of the cold?
Give me a perception check.
20 modified.
Yes, actually, it looks like there's a small little cubby that you could at least move him and her to. It seems to be nice and shaded. It'll keep her out of the wind at the very least. Seem to be in an abandoned animal cave of some sort. Doesn't look very big, but it's big enough to hold, maybe 3 people.
And I can deduce that this person was probably her husband, right?
Yes. It looks to be a... you also find kind of a burnt-out campfire in there. So it definitely looks like a place that people would use when they're on the trail and just don't have the ability to make it back to town, or maybe they get lost up here.
Oh, they can't afford a room.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, well... Let me look at my backpack real quick. Shit. Anybody have any extra clothing or something?
You each have a bedroll.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll wrap the husband's body up in the bedroll and prestidigitation the blood off of him first, though.
Yeah, it takes some doing to get the woman off of him enough for you to do this. But you're able to prestidigitation that blood off and kind of scoot his body into the alcove. And she follows and just kind of sits over him weeping, and every now and again just like reaching down and trying to shake him a little. And then she just kind of sits in stunned silence, if you stay long enough for that.
Ma'am, he died so you could live. And we're gonna find who did this to him. You have my word.
She just sort of sits in stunned silence, but she doesn't seem to make any acknowledgement that she hears you, but there's no reason she wouldn't have heard you.
Let's move out. God, it's an angry little man to question.
Oh boy, do we. Oswald just pulls out this dagger and one of his swords.
Denier gives her a smile and a thumbs up. We'll be back. We're going to go get him.
She doesn't look up.
Prudent.
All right, you're still able to find his tracks, which lead further down this little path that you've been following. And you keep hearing like small clatters, even a little tink every now and again in the distance.
Sounds like he's climbing.
You follow this path and you find your way to another fork. One leads into a cave and the other one leads a little further up the mountain. I need you to make a survival check to determine... It looks as though there was another scuffle here too. Like there's just trampled snow everywhere. You're not sure if this place is just well traveled or...
8.
Yeah.
10.
And drum roll for Asmo. 20 modified.
Yo, all right. You are able to find the freshest footprints, and yeah, there was definitely a confrontation here of sorts, and the one with the shorter gait seems to have booked it off in a direction, followed very calmly by another pair of what looked to be, I don't know, they're weirdly shaped boots. You've never seen anything like this.
What shape is it?
It's hard to say. Like it looks like the toe isn't complete. Like it just sort of like fades off the snow.
It's barefoot?
No, it's a boot. Like there's definitely a boot heel, but the rest of the toe doesn't seem to, like, it seems to fade off the snow rather than be pressed all the way down like your boots would, or normal boots. You follow this trail further up and you see 2 shapes ahead of you. I just wanted to make the master proud. I just wanted to make the master... You see the silhouette of a short man get impaled by what looks to be a thin sword held by a very dandily dressed gentleman. As the wind picks up, the fog wisps away, and in front of you, a man turns, dressed in red and black, frilly clothing, and a horrible porcelain mask with glowing eyes peer out at you. As he turns away from the man who has been stabbed by the rapier that he holds in his left hand. Ah. Salutations, fellow travelers. To what do I owe the pleasure? The man is kind of clasping at the rapier in his stomach. Looks to be a halfling.
We were
And he
looking.
slumps forward. Sorry, what was your response?
We were looking for him. And he gestures to the end of his rapier.
Well, looks as though I found him for you. He slumps to the ground.
And you've done us a favor, though I would have liked to have questioned him.
I suppose so. Oh, but forgive me, I have not introduced myself. There are those around here who refer to me as the Jester of Bordeaux.